Hey guys, Chronicle here.
Concept art is a way to communicate with others, turning ideas into visuals. Imagine like an explanation of what's on the concept artist's mind. Today, we're gonna explore some of the early designs made by the concept artist team during the development of Borderlands 3. From the beginning, concept artist Amanda Christensen had the idea of a siren different to what we've known so far. As she described, she wanted a siren with the energy and confidence of a Super Saiyan, but still maintaining a sense of grace and elegance. This explains a lot of things. I mean, if you have played Borderlands 3, you might have noticed Amara's personality. Also, she has skills pretty similar to Dragon Ball Z moves. And yes, I'm talking about face cast. Yes, you hear me right. Look, here is an early concept for an Amara skill where she's using the Distracto disc. Well, not really, but she's actually using a spinning singularity projectile. This probably got divided and was the birth of one face cast, which we see spinning projectile, and two the Allure skill augment, which creates a singularity whenever Amara uses an action skill. Downfall looked like a Kameha then and still looks like a Kameha now. Although the difference is that in this concept art Amara is standing and the elemental beam has a long range. If this was in the final version of the game, I feel like this could have probably been in the Facecast 3. Although in the actual game, it's in the Face Lamp 3 and she has to leap to use it. Talking about leaps, we also got Face Lance. Amara could have jumped very high to perform a Nora Lance that was supposed to be a precision strike, so I imagine it could have allowed Amara to hit enemy critical spots within a mid-range, long range, which sounds pretty neat. Although it seems like eventually this got shaped into being Downfall. I mean, if you look at Downfall movement patterns and also Phaselands, you can see that the movement patterns are pretty much the same. Okay, these are my favorite concept arts for Amara. Look at what we missed out! Face Shield and Face Blade. Amara being the melee ball hunter in Borderlands 3, it makes sense to have her use a blade or some sort of melee weapon. I mean, I would have been so happy to see Amara using a Nora blade, deleting enemies out of this world. However, if she had a shield or a blade, I'm more than sure that people would have compared Amara with Athena's or Krieg, which would have lessened her uniqueness, so this might be the reason why they didn't go with these options. Here we got Face Trance, so I'm guessing whenever Amara uses an action skill, she could enter this avatar-like mode. There's also variations of this form, where only her hair and tattoos glow when she uses her action skills. This made it to the final game, well, not completely, because only her tattoos glow when you use Face Cast, Face Slam, or Face Grasp. There is also concept art for Amara's multiple arms using random items from her inventory. Okay, this would have been a blast. I honestly don't see it working, but man, my monkey brain really likes this. Making the call of Moze having her own mech had a significant impact on how the game would evolve. This decision helped the team to understand how to push the limits of how unusual and diverse the characters of Borderlands 3 could be. In this early version, Moze was not supposed to be in the mecha yet, but to spawn Iron Bear and give it commands. There are three forms, each with a very different look. The melee one is very small, almost as tall as Moze. It has a lance that could dash, knocking back enemies. The tanky one is much bigger, it has a shield, and it seems like it was slow or maybe it didn't even move. And the third one has a machine gun, probably acting like a living turret. We got even more versions of Iron Bear. This time, it seems like there is more space for Moze to be inside. Also, Iron Bear is a mecha, but this look even more mecha? Like, how is that even possible? This first form is apparently just a tank. The other two forms look a lot like a bear. So maybe here is when it got the name of Iron Bear. There are two melee forms as well. One has a blade, and the other one has big claws. They also have two small arms coming out of the suit. To me, this looks really funny. It kind of feels like Mouse being squished. And by the way, you can see these two arms in the first trailers of the game. Well, in some of them. We also got the same forms with what could have been the first version of Bear and the grenade launcher. The concept artists also explore animations for Mouse jumping into Iron Bear. The first one, the basic one, which I believe is pretty similar to the version we got in the game. The second one is a variation of the first one, but this time Moze uses Iron Bear's leg to jump even higher. And the third one, in which Moze runs toward Iron Bear, she grabs her and allows Moze to swing into Iron Bear. I would have loved to see this one, it looks pretty cool. We got concept art for how Moze could have looked like. Here we got an old version of her who's dying from radiation, lost an arm, and got it replaced. Although she doesn't have the military look the final version. Oh, never mind. In this one, you can see the heavy military Russian theme. She's redhead, got a scar. Her face kind of feels like it's burned by a scar. She still looks badass though. Here we got a blonde version with a tech suit, or what I believe is a tech suit. And actually, this reminds me of Zane Final Form skin. Oh, we also got this. Wow, okay. This is completely different to the Moose we know. White hair, white skin, white eyes. Wow, this is definitely a different Vault Hunter. Is that a solar panel? So, Zane was first conceived as more of a duelist in a fancy suit who channeled the sophistication and style of an outer space secret agent, although this idea soon evolved into more of a Wild West gangster. The team wanted a James Bond character or a John Wick like character, but John Wick didn't really fit in the Borderlands universe, so Scott Kester came up with the idea of a James Bond cowboy. Many different versions of the classical cowboy were explored, including details like ponchos, eye patches, before the concept team moved towards the cybernetic look for Zane. And since his abilities revolved around him using technology to aid him during combat, his appearance needed to reflect that playstyle. And that's why the cowboy look was stripped away in favor of another more flamboyant character. Here we got some concept art for how Zane could have looked like. This one looked like a tech cowboy space bounty hunter that is a magician in his free time. And there is also a small resemblance to Iron Man. Okay, this one is a straight up an anime character. Come on, you cannot disagree with me on this one. As you can see, the cowboy style this is still prevalent in some of these designs, as well as the tech suit. But something interesting here that I want to point out is in some of these, he is dual wielding, and I wonder if he was supposed to have a skill like that. Nah, I don't think so. Several early variants depicted Flag as almost a good land native, kinda like a mysterious figure, or a high-tech Robin Hood. This part of the exploration led Flag to not only tame animals, but also absorb elements of their genetic makeup, becoming more mutated and more bestial. Ultimately, this design was considered to have too much of a fantasy aesthetic and was put aside. So yeah, if you ask me, this makes sense. I mean, he looks a lot like a D&D character, or even a Tiny Tina Wonderland's Fate Maker. The idea of Flag being a robot came from Scott Kestrer, who thought that a robot that loves animals is much more impactful, or it could be more impactful to the community than a human that loves animals. And I think he was right. Flag is one of the most loved characters in the community. This little thing you see here is Hermes, the pet that Ava brings to Sanctuary. Well, it was first designed to be a flag pet, and even though the idea was discarded, the design was not. In some of these designs, Flag looks more like a pirate, and even look at this one, this guy is ready to compete at the Canto League. There is also a version with he was a thing? Okay, not even in a million years I could have imagined Flag as a small old guy. That's funny, okay, I love this. Whoever made this, thank you. We also got some human-robot hybrids, and wait a second, I've seen these guys. As you can see, concept art is incredible, explaining to others how things should work, how they should move, or how they should look, and explaining all of these things not with words but with ideas is just astonishing. Also, what incredible ideas the people working in Borderlands 3 had. Let me know if you prefer the final versions we got in the game or some of the early concepts we saw today. Either way, I'll see you in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.